Hello there, and welcome to this week's episode of Articulate Thoughts, which is a personal blog of mine where I share some thoughts, ideas, experiences, and observations about conscious dance, which is a movement practice that uses dance as a form of moving meditation. And today's episode is entitled Intrinsic Beauty. And this is basically referring to the art of music. And music has been a very intimate relationship that's been transforming over the years for me. And as of late, I've just been really fascinated with the idea of sound and how powerful it could be and how it could affect our moods just by the virtue of the vibration of the music. And there's elements that make up our physical reality that we interact with on a daily basis, which is earth, water, fire, and air. And there's also metaphysical elements, which are sound, light, and thought. And it's very easy to dismiss these metaphysical elements because they're not as prevalent or they're not as foundational as the regular physical elements. But there is definitely a contributing factor of the sound, light, and thought in our everyday life. And if you dig a little deeper and try to tune into that, it is there, and it's something that can be very useful and helpful and help utilize all the things we have access to with our senses. Now, when it comes to music, it's a very interesting thing because there's so many ways to interact with it, but it's undeniably an integral part of being human. We all like listening to music for various reasons, and if we watch a movie and there is a background music track and it helps facilitate in the emotional the emotional component of what's being conveyed in that scene. It's a combination of like the storyline and the written aspect, like the script, and how the actors play it out. But I think the music just ties it in all together very beautifully, and it's done very subtly because it's in the background and no one really pays attention to the music like as like the foreground element of what's happening in the movie, but it's always in the background, it's always there. And that's just a subtle observation. And I think with music too is there's just so much to say about it. But I mean, if you kind of meet people and then they're like, I don't listen to music, it's kind of like, really, you don't like listening to music? And it might seem kind of off-putting or seems a little bit unnatural. And you know and I think there's a good reason for that. Just like humans are intuitively tuned into rhythm. There's rhythm is all around us, and it's a very prevalent part. There's all these cycles and patterns. Our bodies are built that way. We have a heartbeat, and then our breathing is tuned into that heartbeat. We live in a world where there's the sun's in the sky during the day, and in the nighttime it goes away, and there's the moon, and there's this completely circular cycle that keeps on happening. And on a bigger scale, like every year the seasons change, and the fall that we're moving into a state of like stillness and death, so to speak. And the winter is that cold death part, and then there's the spring, it's like bringing to life, and then summer is like the peak of the life. And there's just this cycle of life and death, and all these rhythms and patterns are all around us. And I think what makes music so intrinsic to us, or so attractive, and it kind of ties everything about our existence and presents it in a very beautiful way where all the elements, all the components are synchronized and harmonized perfectly, and conveys just a very intuitive message of some sort. And I think for me, in the last little while, like dance has really been a way to kind of decode that message. And I've been paying attention more to like the feeling that music gives me, as opposed to just being so attached to a particular genre, a particular artist. And like I'm was very much that way growing up. I had obsessions with artists, and I just would kind of stick to one genre at a time. And in my own personal time, I do tend to do that. But one of the beautiful things about conscious dance is it opens up the variety of music. Obviously, there's certain facilitators that have a certain preference for certain types of music, depending on their focus and what they want to bring out in the dance. But for the most part, a lot of people use a very wide variety of music, and it's music that I would never listen to on my own time. or enjoy it on my own time. But just given the moment, given the circumstance and situation, I'm able to move and connect and dance to this music in a very intimate way. And at the end of classic, it just, I let it go. It's not this thing where I have to find out the artist and the song so I can hear it again and enjoy the process and the pleasure of hearing that song again. But it's just, a perfect time, a perfect place where we come together and just sharing this intrinsically beautiful moment where we're connected in a very intimate way. And it's something that maybe my mind can't logically intellectualize and understand, but there's something deep rooted in my body that understands, and it feels good. And why does it feel good? I don't know exactly why, but that's something that I'm currently investigating and looking into and experimenting, and that's what keeps me coming back to the conscious dance, or one of the things that keep me coming back to dance is just that good feeling. And why does it feel so good? I don't know, just the feeling of connection that I can't really find anywhere else. There's different ways of connecting to things, but the connection to music has been one of the most powerfully intimate connections I've ever felt in my entire life. So, that's, you know, something to say about that. So that's my 2 cents for this week in relation to conscious dance and music. And yeah, I invite you to come out tonight to the Central United Church at 7 p.m. And we've got Kyra Newton will be facilitating, and I'm super, super excited to check out what she has to offer tonight. And inshallah, I'll see you on the dance floor.